All right, guys, we are back. FSD Beta 11.4.7.2. Going for a little bit of a drive. Going to do the Suburban Gauntlet. See how it fares, see how it does in this particular version. And boy, do I miss my no nag version or variant or switch or bug or whatever it was that I had. It's definitely sorely missed. Makes it much more enjoyable. But I digress. Let's get on with the drive. Good lane selection here. It needs to be in this lane to go straight. So good lane selection here and good timing on staging the lane the right way. It has to jump back over to the left right after here. Let's see what it does. Good job. Little overreaction there. It's okay, nothing crazy, but just a little bit too wide to the left there. But I'm okay with that. Turn signal for some reason doesn't need to turn. Just needs to take this curve the right way. Good job. A little wide on the end, but that's okay. Lots of margin for error here, just like a regular driver. But again, just making sure that we're doing the right thing, making the right decisions. And as a driver or as an operator, if you will, feeling comfortable, feeling like the car is not going to do the wrong thing. So far, 11.4.7.2 has been pretty solid for us. Again, just trying to piggyback off of the no nag version, 11.4.7. It's been pretty solid for us, pretty consistent. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, it still does some things wrong, but it's pretty good. It's very comfortable, makes a lot of the right decisions, still makes plenty of wrong ones, but it makes a lot of the right decisions when you would expect it, and doesn't do too many things that are unexpected. That's where comfort level, decision making, and safety come into play. Big bumps. Can't get around those. Nice little town center here. Just gotta get over here. Follow the rest of those cars. Good job. Slow speeds. A little indecisive there, but it made it. I'm okay with that. Stopping for stop sign. That's not the right thing to do. Stopping for stop sign, sees that stop sign there, sees it's the wrong thing. So I'm going to flag that. As opposed to disengaging, I'll just flag it. Stop sign was way off in the distance for the angle going that way, so that was incorrect. So here's an example of it doing the wrong thing at a time where I think that it would ignore that stop sign, but based on the way that it was angled, it did not. Good job cutting the corner here. Getting onto the local road, adjusting speed accordingly. I tried to play around with the speed offset and really couldn't dial it in at the percentage level to where I needed it to be. I really just want 5 miles an hour over, which is why I keep, acknowledging that on the yoke. But the percentage offset is such that it doesn't really give you 5 miles an hour over, and it varies based on the speed as it changes. So I will manually go up to 30 here, unless these signs start to warn me. This is midday. No one should be around in terms of kids, some pedestrians, lots of car traffic around. But it should be okay just to go a little bit faster, just to expedite the trip and to be conscious of the drivers behind me who may be in a rush to go to lunch. Coming up to our first destination, I'm going to edit this trip and take this one out and just continue from here. I'll go this path, that path. There we go. Just took a little bit of a scenic route. Flashing yellow, has to make the left here. They have the stop sign, we have the right of way, gotta go. Give it a little bit of accelerator here, just to give it some confidence. A little over hesitation on the person coming this way. They had the stop sign there. Car wasn't sure if they were gonna stop or not. Police officer was stealthily watching right there as well. So I think it made the right decision to have some caution, but again, mindful of people around us. Another double flashing yellow. Slows down, a little tight to the curb, a little tight, but still made it, which is good. Again, just my preference, my bias, giving the curb a little bit more clearance just in case you have to make an abrupt maneuver, you have room to move. But just preferential, nothing wrong, nothing critical, nothing safety critical. Still good decision making, still good poise, and still good comfort. Good job not overreacting for that car coming out at the last minute, and good job not overreacting for that car creeping up. Good job. We're really getting to a point where this is becoming more and more usable and useful and becomes more comfortable as it progresses. Every little iteration helps. I know people ask the question of, hey, well, if there's version 12 and there's such a major rewrite, why are we still releasing iterations? We're still collecting data. They're still collecting the data to help improve version 12. And it's also making some enhancements to the code itself. So again, this is not complete just code. This is also autopilot did not stop sufficiently or slow down sufficiently for a speed bump. Still doing that. This is not all code. This is code and AI. Version 12 is said to be all AI. Wow, you heard the thing in the back jump, so that was me letting it go. Some people say I slow down too much, it's gonna slow down. It does not slow down for the speed bump sufficiently in this area like I would like it, which is why I reported it, and as you heard, something jumping up in the back because it went too hard there. Lots of traffic coming. I'm gonna slow down here because that guy took the turn a little too tight and we were still creeping up. Not great behavior. Autopilot still creeping up as person attempted to turn. I'll wait until I have a clearing and then go. But yeah, it kind of creeped up a little further while that guy was cutting the corner. That could have been a problem. I'll go now and then resume once I get out there. Tight quarters here, signaling. Needs help. That was bad. Autopilot could not complete right turn maneuver, needed assistance. And that was bad. That was really bad. We've never seen that before. And maybe because it was the speed, I'll leave it at 25 and see. But that was bad. It kind of needed our help at the last minute. Didn't know that it wanted to take that turn. So again, that was a case where I didn't expect it to do that, but I kind of saw it. I kind of saw it coming, so I kind of braced it, and I had my foot on the brake to be able to stop it. And kind of yelled for help. Said, I can't make this turn, help me. So not a good thing. Definitely need to fix that. Definitely has not done that before on this Suburban Gauntlet here. So that's definitely new. But again, that's one element of it, and the rest beyond that was good. So if you have a negativity bias and all you're focusing on is the negative, you're going to just focus on that. If you look at the totality of what it did and all the things that it's done right since I started this drive, you'll have a more comprehensive, complete, balanced view of what the car is doing and what it's capable of doing. One metric that I have to restate that we always try to measure against is this car safe enough? Is this software, I should say, safe enough to have kids in the car? So far, it's not been. That's our measuring stick of quality. Car coming. Good job slowing. I let it go. I kind of wanted to jump out there. Another car coming. So good way to control and hold that. So that's a good thing. It was going to go. A car came speeding around. It slowed down, let them go. So if you're, again, not negativity bias, but focusing on the balanced overall picture. But I digress. The safety measure for us is this safe enough for our kids, or good enough for our kids to be in the car? So far, I've not had kids in the car while on FSD Beta. I don't think it's there yet. I think it's a long ways away in terms of having kids in the car. But I think it is very close to being a thing where adults can be in the car, and it could drive you from point A to point B, obviously being vigilant and aware and mindful of what you need to do and where you need to go, and how you need to treat the car as an operator versus a driver. Speed up just a little bit here. Still staying centered in the lane and then moving over as cars come, which probably is the right thing to do. But again, just from a safety perspective and comfort perspective, I prefer to just bias towards the side that it needs to be on. See how our car's coming around this bend? Now it's going to try to move over a little bit. See that right there? It didn't have to do that if it just stayed the course where it was. So little things like that, little tweaks, little adjustments that I can make over time will be very beneficial. Cyclists there not overreacting. Great. And stopping at the stop sign. So far, creeping up a little too far forward as the person was cutting the turn. He was cutting a little harder and we were still creeping forward. That could have been a recipe for disaster. Definitely not a good thing. Definitely need to work on that. Stop completely at the limit line. Creep forward only when it's clear. Creep forward for visibility when it's clear, no one's turning. If they see that people are turning, they should use some caution, an abundance of caution, and make sure that they're measured as they creep up and make sure they're not creeping up as someone is turning. So that's not good. And then obviously the turn it tried to make and couldn't make it the last minute, kind of failed that turn. It's never done that before, so that was new. Let's see, it's trying to let this person go and has no way to visually communicate that. So that's another issue with FSD that they're going to have to solve, is having the car to be able to communicate to the world around it visually somehow, some way. As people, we can wave people on, we can flash our lights, we can blow the horn, we can do a lot of different things. It needs to have some type of awareness in that regard to be able to communicate visually to people at some point. So, you know, they're going to be able to communicate to other cars, give them the right of way or yield the right of way to them if they need to, and be able to communicate that. So hopefully that'll happen in the future. I know some cars are being built with that in mind, with the grill, with LEDs, and they can communicate, stop, go, you know, whatever, I'm going to turn, whatever the case may be. But I don't think that's the case here with the Tesla. So definitely want them to figure out a good way to communicate visually to people that are out there. It needs to be in this right lane, and it needs not to block the box like this person is doing. Shame on you, Model Y. You're blocking the box. And shame on us because we're blocking it too. Oh, well, it used to not block the driveway. Now it does. Here we are. It is what it is. I think if a car was probably coming out this way, it might not have done it. But a little bit of regression here in the Suburban Gauntlet. It used to stop and not block the box. It used to be able to make that turn, both those turns the right way. The initial high speed one was always a problem, so I'm okay with that. That's the one when the guy was cutting the corner and we were still creeping up. But that other second turn, where we sort of went into the suburban neighborhood, that one was always a piece of cake. So a little bit of regression there in certain areas, but obviously progress in other areas. As you see, we do our typical sort of test path, and it does a great job on that. So some areas it does better in, some areas it regresses in. The goal is to just be able to test the same scenarios, to be able to see that and see where it's having problems and feed that data back to Tesla so that they can use that to make the system even better. As I'm going here, I did adjust the speed once or twice. Now it's jumping up to 40. Other than that, I didn't touch anything, so I'm not going to jinx it. Maybe my Elon mode is kicked in. I'm not sure, but I'm going to just keep my mouth shut in that regard and just keep talking about how good the drive is. It's pretty abrupt. Good job resuming. but I have not had one of the you-know-whats in a while, if at all. And I can't tell you how much of a joy it is to be able to ride this like this. I'm more alert doing it this way than I am with, compliance. I'm speaking that way just in case the camera's reading my mouth, my lips, and think something. So far, we're doing okay. Not great, not good. We're doing okay here on the Suburban Gauntlet. A little bit of hesitation, major hesitation where we saw it. Things are a little bit wider and not as tight as they used to be in terms of the maneuvers that they're making. And at the top of this hill is where the major pothole is. And if it's still there, I will take over. Not necessarily a disengagement, but just something that the car is not capable of responding to at this point in time. And that is the potholes. Good job slowing down, signaling. Turning up. And going a little wide, close to the bush. And here's the turn where the big pothole might still be. Let me take a look. Did they patch it? This side doesn't look patched. Let's see if this one is patched. Oh, they patched it. Okay, I'll let it do its own thing. Car coming. It's still creeping out. I don't know if it creeped out too far on that one. Didn't seem like it, but I just let it go. Hope it didn't disturb this guy, but it's hard to tell how far it creeps out. And obviously we know, people have done videos and tests. It creeps out because it needs to be able to see left and right fully, and it can't really see left and right fully until it hits the B pillars, which are, could be at the head level of where you're driving, or it could be behind you if you drive closer up to the steering wheel or the yoke. It really just depends. So it's a scenario where, they need to make some hardware adjustments. They need to have the cameras in those fender cameras if they're not going to make bumper cameras, just so it can see sooner than the hood of the car, so it's not sticking so far out there to be able to see left and right. Good job handling the winding roads. Nice fall colors coming in. And we got a roundabout coming up. Let's see if there's any regressions here with the roundabout. Good job slowing down. A little too early. Car's coming. Got to get out there and go. Good job. Single lane roundabout, not a multi-lane. We'll try that next. Good job holding it. A little herky-jerky on this turn, on the holding of the turns there on the roundabout. It doesn't hold it. It just dirt. A little bit of that, which isn't great. Pedestrian. Good job slowing down. Good job going around them. I'm okay with that maneuver. Good to go. So obviously you hear me talking about these small regressions, these issues, and I'm being a little bit tempered here because as much as it's regressing, I'm still enjoying what you all are seeing, and that is the you-know-what of this. So I'm just gonna enjoy that for now, take that in, and go from there. I will go a little faster just to expedite the video here. If there's any pedestrians nearby beyond the person we went to, I'm gonna slow down, of course. The car will also take that abundance of caution as well. But going around this bend here slows down. See that? Slows down because the turn was a little bit too tight. It knows it's more aware of its mass going around these turns. So that's great. If anybody else that's, not using a cheat device, even if you are using cheat device, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're experiencing this, you know that this is the joy of using this software, and this is the usefulness of it. Again, for me, I'm just more alert because I know that I'm not as at the ready as I typically would be if I had you-know-what. But as a result, I'm more aware I know sometimes if you just have your hand resting, you might be in a scenario where, and there I said the word hand, and then it got me. You might have yourself in a scenario where, you might be less aware and less vigilant just because your hand is resting there. Whoa, big truck. Yeah, it's all over me now. I said the wrong word. I was trying not to say it. I think they're reading my lips or listening in with the microphones. And I said, you know what? And the actual word, and it kind of like, okay, now let's turn it back on, turn off Elon mode. But it was fun while it lasted. It was fun while it lasted. And now they're all over me. I feel like it's like a bunch of people in a control room somewhere watching all the videos secretly. And someone was like at lunch, they turned around and saw me, and, oh, wait a minute. And they pressed the button. Yeah, it's all over the place. Good job taking that S curve. Now here's where it needs to get up to speed quickly. So the speed is going to change. Gee, I can't see anything. I'm totally blind to the right. Go, 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 go. See, it hesitate. Don't hesitate like that. It hesitated way too much. Oh, I can't even reach it. It's going. Got it in plaid mode. All right. So, positive takeaway first before the negative. The negative was obvious. It got out on this side of the road and then hesitated to see to the right and left. Again, not a good thing. The good thing is that it actually accelerated with the urgency that we're looking for. I couldn't even reach the button because I got hit with the G's of it accelerating forward at 50 miles an hour. So that's the thing that we were looking for it to do on that turn, is to get up to speed quickly so as to not compromise anyone. And now the nags are all over me again. So that was a good thing. Workers are here. See if it slows down for them. It's going right at the limit. A little bit of hesitation here. It goes down to 49. Sees them and slows down a lot, but a little bit too late. So wasn't on the same side of the road, but I get it. I get it. Good turn here. Yeah, somebody in the control room woke up. They turned around and saw me press the button. I can tell that it's really aggressive now. It's like every other few seconds, it's on me. As soon as I said the word HAND, it got me. Wasn't speed related. It wasn't the amount of turns or curves. It was literally just me saying that word, and it got me. So in this instance, it stages the wrong lane to go straight. It stays on the right side when it needs to be on the left side, just so it can go straight and doesn't have to merge. It seems to be doing the same thing here again. Sees the cone there. That's good. See how it stages this lane when it needs to be in that lane, here versus here. They both go the same way, but because we know this merges, it's probably easier to be in that lane. So that's lane selection. It's just the same as it was before. So now it's going to have to go. It's going to let these cars go, and then it's going to merge over. And again, just something it didn't need to do. Unnecessary movements, unnecessary maneuvers that it didn't need to make. Now, if there was no room to get there and you had to be in that lane, fine. But if you had a choice like it did, you should choose to go in the lane that goes straight, that doesn't have to merge. Especially if all you're going to do is yield to the other cars that are there and let them go first. Great job taking all these turns. Nice and smooth, nice and easy, very comfortable, very confidence inspiring. Very good. Good job giving some hesitation because we were going downhill. Gave some hesitation to that car that was turning. And we have to be in the right lane, so we have to stage that right lane early enough, like now, there we go, so that we get in there. Good job. Going through the town center. See if we catch any crossing pedestrians to see if we have issues there. The car sort of stops after the pedestrian instead of letting them go, specifically when they're crossing in between crosswalks, not at the actual crosswalk. See this? It's not letting this car go. Sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. He wasn't letting this car go, and he had no indication other than just to not go as an indicator to let that person, to know that that person was gonna be let to go in that lane or crossover. So again, just some kind of visual indicator, some kind of visual communication, whether it's flashing the lights or whatever. The car needs to be able to communicate to the outside world in scenarios where it needs to yield the right of way for something. That's typically like all-way stops, two-way stops even sometimes, people crossing, people pulling out of driveways, all that good stuff. Interesting note there. It actually accelerated as the intersection had a little bit of a hump in it, and it kind of slowed down a little bit and then regained its composure and accelerated again, which is kind of good. It kind of is aware of the fact that, hey, there's some kind of curvature here. Let me not accelerate full bore. Let me slow down. Or maybe some of the traction slipped and it knew to slow down a little bit. That was pretty cool. Now, come up at this next light, the car tends to hesitate on the left, meaning it has a clearing to go left because that's where it needs to go, and when it has an opening, it hesitates and doesn't take the right angle for the turn. That's what we typically see on this drive. Let's see if they fixed it in this one, or if it exhibits the same behavior. Wow, that's new. Moment of truth. Lines are clearly painted. Cars ahead of it to show it what to do. Slows down a lot and still hesitates. Not great. And goes wide. Not great. Let's flag that. Yeah, still issues there. I don't know what the problem is. It just likes to come to a stop at a green light, a green turn signal, and then kind of wafers. I'm not sure what's going on there. Still does a good job of allowing a lot of space in between the other car when we're on this steep incline, just in case that car rolls back a little bit as it accelerates. Sees a person there and slows down because he's getting his mail. An abundance of caution for humans is not a bad thing, just can be uncomfortable if you don't know what to expect. So if I was not paying attention and I just all of a sudden felt the car slowing down abruptly, I wouldn't know what was going on. That's the problem there. Please dodge that. Oh, good job. Hubcap in the wheel in the road. It did a good job of getting past it, whether it was intentional or not. Turn here, slows down abruptly. Please make a good angle. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Cautious, but not overly cautious. Slow down a little bit, and said, okay, I'm going to go now. That person stopped. So that was great. And we're almost at our destination. Don't think I'll go all the way in. Yes, I'm still here. I'm paying attention. Eyes are on the road. All right, I'm gonna stop here. We're done. We are done. Sorry, van. All right, so that's it. FSD Beta 11.4.7.2 in our Suburban Gauntlet. Northeast, Model S Plaid, FSD Beta, average profile, no speed offset. It did okay. It did okay. Not the best we've seen for the Suburban Gauntlet, not the worst we've seen for the Suburban Gauntlet, but definitely not on par with what else we've seen outside the Suburban Gauntlet with 11.4.7.2. So this was, pretty okay. In terms of decision making, I want to give it a 7. I think it made mostly all the right decisions. However, I do think that we're going into a dead end. I do think that in certain scenarios, it should have made certain things differently. It should have done certain things differently, meaning that obviously if it knows it can't handle a turn, give me back control sooner. Give me the warning sooner. Tell me you need help sooner rather than later, right? If you know you're going to stop at a light that's green to turn, be conscious of the people behind you, right? So little things like that. So that's why I give it a 7. In terms of comfort, I'm also going to give it a 7. I was pretty comfortable all around, but again, if I wasn't paying attention to certain scenarios that could have made me really uncomfortable, that creeping forward made me uncomfortable. The missing of the right turn where it kind of had to ask for help, that also made me uncomfortable, right? So that drops comfort down a little bit here to a 7. In terms of safety, I want to give it a 6. I did not feel as safe as I could have had it handled those scenarios a little bit better or handled them the way that it did in previous builds. So that was not the greatest showing for this Suburban Gauntlet here. And in terms of confidence, I'm going to give the confidence also a 6. It showed lots of confidence in certain areas, but then other areas it showed way lack of confidence, a regressive lack of confidence specifically around that turn that it missed or was trying to miss and couldn't quite make it, as well as creeping forward for visibility. And as you see me creep forward right here, I'm creeping forward just past the crosswalk because I can lean forward and see. Car can't lean forward and see. And there we go. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think about this drive. Let me know what you think about your build. If you're on 11.4.4, hold tight. Next build should be the build that you guys are able to get. And the idea is that we are employees and people in the early access portion of the beta are going to get more frequent builds that will help give you guys more features on the public build when it goes out. So your next jump should be significant from 11.4.4 to 11.4.8 or 11.4.7.5 or something like that, whatever it is. You'll have more enhancements. You'll see a bigger step change from build to build. That's the goal. All right, so let me know your thoughts in the comments, and until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.